In this video, we take a look at the Fieldmaster by Victorinox. It's my favorite Swiss Army knife. Check it out. Hey guys, I'm Kevin with Kemp Outside, your inside source for all things outside. Well, if you've been following along, guys, we have been doing a series on Swiss Army knives. Guys, there's probably nothing more synonymous with getting out in the outdoors than carrying a Swiss Army knife, at least if you're a 12-year-old boy, which is the first time I got a Swiss Army knife. So I said this in previous videos, but my family took a vacation to Europe when I was 12 years old, and we got to go to Switzerland, and my parents asked me, what is the souvenir that you want more than anything on this trip? And I said a Swiss Army knife, and to my surprise, they let me pick one out. And guys, this is the one I picked out. So I've had this knife for 30 years, and this is the Fieldmaster. And I have been carrying this knife on and off almost every day for 30 years, and I love it, and it's held up great. It's one of the reasons why I'm such a fan of Victorinox Swiss Army knives. And guys, you can spend a whole lot of money on knives, right? You can go get the fancy tactical knives and all that stuff. And guys, I like those. Those are cool. Don't get me wrong. If somebody wanted to send me a fancy Benchmade or whatever, Spyder, whatever. I mean, I like knives. Like, I just like knives. Knives are cool. So. But there's something about the utility of a Swiss Army knife, right? I mean, the vast majority of the time over the 30 years that I've used this knife, it hasn't been the blade that I've used the most, right? It's probably the scissors or the wood saw or some of the other things that are on this knife. And so what I wanted to do is I wanted to do a gear review of this. Now, I've reviewed a couple of knives so far. So the first knife I reviewed, and I'm gonna put a link up in the left-hand corner, right up here, is the nail clip 580. So just a little Swiss Army knife, right? It's one of the small knives, but it has a nail clipper in it, guys. And in that video, I talked a lot about the importance of nail care, and specifically foot care and toenail care when you're on outdoor trips, especially if you're doing a lot of hiking. You do not want an ingrown toenail. So I rely on this a lot when I'm outdoors. Probably more than you ever wanted to know about my feet, but hey, if you're into that stuff, check out that video. But I love that knife. And then we also, guys, we reviewed a couple of other knives, and I'll talk about those as I'm reviewing the Fieldmaster. But the first one that we reviewed after the Nail Clip 580 was the Handyman, right? And so that's in the same size series as the Fieldmaster, but it's a lot thicker, has a lot more tools. So this one is kind of my new everyday carry because it has a lot of things on it. So if you want to see that video, I'll put a link right up here where you can check that one out. But I don't always need all these tools, right? And actually, you know, when I was 12, I think my parents had a budget, and they said, so you can pick between these. And so this is the one I picked, and it has a variety of really, really cool tools that I want to get into right now. Okay guys, so what I want to do is I will start with the tools that are closest to the logo, and we'll just work our way around the knife. So the first one is the cap lifter or bottle opener. I always call it a bottle opener. I've heard other people call it a cap lifter. I wonder if that's a European thing versus American thing. I don't know. But a decent sized flathead screwdriver, and then a bottle opener, and then this, some people call it a wire bender, some people call it a wire stripper. I like using it with a ferro rod to make sparks, which we're going to talk about in a future video. This one opens all the way, or it also locks halfway, so that if you need to get good torque on a screw, you can do that. On the other side is the can opener. I always call it a bottle opener in my videos, which is frustrating to me. Get it right, Kevin. It's got a little sharpened edge, so it's easier to open those cans of tuna or cat food or SpaghettiOs or Dinty Moore beef stew or whatever you're eating on a terrible day of camping, because I like to eat a whole lot better than that. But sometimes you need a can opener. And then this is a flathead screwdriver that works surprisingly well on a lot of Phillips screws. So if you've got a Phillips screw you need to unscrew, you might want to give that a try and just see if it works. The next tool on the knife is the scissors. And I have used these scissors a lot. They're super dirty. I need to clean them up. To the point where I broke the spring a while ago and I had to buy a replacement. And the good thing is these replacements are very easy to find on Amazon. I think I bought a 5-pack for like $7 or something. So it's just cheap. And it's relatively easy to drive a new one in. I just pinched it with some pliers and stuck it in there, and it's worked really well. This is the Victorinox style of scissors. So there are two main Swiss Army knife manufacturers for many, many years. There's Victorinox and then there's Wenger. And Victorinox bought Wenger. So in some of the knives that you can buy from Victorinox now, they have the Wenger style scissors, but on the Fieldmaster, it's the Victorinox style with this kind of spring. So depending on what kind of scissors you like, what style of design you like, you might want to pick up a Wenger style knife instead of the Victorinox. But like I said, I've had this knife for 30 years and it works as good today as it did the day I bought it. So the next one is the wood saw, and this is probably behind the scissors is the thing I've used the most. These wood saws are incredibly capable, given their length, for cutting kindling, small logs for campfires, for trimming trails, all kinds of things. I'm shocked at how good this wood saw is, and after 30 years, it's still super sharp. It will cut, wood very, very easily, and I love it. Almost any Swiss Army knife I carry has to have a wood saw because of my outdoor uses. The next is the large blade, and my large blade needs a sharpening because I've used it so many times, but this blade holds up really, really well. I've been really, really pleased with it. It's relatively easy to sharpen, holds an edge really well. I really, really like these. And it's truthfully, most of the time it's the right size for the job. If you want something larger like the Work Champ that has a much larger blade, that's definitely available to you. And if you want to see that, I'll put a review up in the right-hand corner of the Work Champ. But it is, obviously a much larger knife. But in general, for almost everything I'm doing, this is the right size blade, unless I want a smaller blade, which is available on the Fieldmaster. And this is the blade I use. I mean, it's so nicked up and everything. I definitely need to sharpen it too. This is the blade I use all the time for opening boxes and that kind of stuff. I kind of save the big blade for larger work and do a lot of smaller work with the smaller blade. So I use this blade a ton. I probably use it more than I use the large blade. So it comes in really, really handy. So that's the main side of the knife. Also, it has a key ring, which I always think these knives are too big to kind of hang on keys, but you could if you wanted to. What I like to do with them is attach a lanyard to them if I'm afraid I'm going to lose them for some reason. So great for clipping on a lanyard. And then of course this knife is equipped with a toothpick and a set of tweezers, which are nice and can come in handy. I think I pulled out a splinter with one not too long ago, so it's always nice to have some tweezers. Now, what is interesting about the Fieldmaster, and the reason I picked out the Fieldmaster when I was 12 instead of the Huntsman, which is the same knife except it has a corkscrew instead of the Phillips head screwdriver. So on this knife, there's a Phillips head screwdriver, and I always thought to myself, I don't need a corkscrew to open wine bottles. I don't drink. I'm 12 years old. I'm going to get the one with the Phillips screwdriver. And guys, I have used this Phillips screwdriver. I can't tell you how many times. This is an awesome, awesome, awesome tool. So if you don't need a corkscrew, using the Phillips screwdriver or choosing the Phillips screwdriver option is a great option, and that's why I chose the Fieldmaster instead of the Huntsman. Everything else is the same as the Huntsman in that you have the parcel hook, which is great for carrying packages that are tied up with strings. No, I am not going to sing the Sound of Music song. You guys can sing it if you want to. And then also it comes with an awl and sewing needle. And I've used this to notch belts and things like that. So it's a really, really handy little awl. So all in all, I think this knife is a really, really capable knife. Now, one of the things that is interesting is when I bought this knife 30 years ago, I don't think they had any of the accessories for the corkscrew. But now, like if you look at the Huntsman comes with a little mini screwdriver for glasses and stuff, and it goes in the corkscrew. You can also put some aftermarket products in the corkscrew, and we're going to go over that in a future video. There's fire kindling that goes in there. There's little mini ferro rods that can go in there. So the corkscrew has a lot more utility than it used to have. But guys, if you want a good solid Phillips head screwdriver, I definitely recommend the Fieldmaster. So guys, again, one of my favorite Swiss Army knives of all time. I love this knife. I love it so much that I think I'm going to stop carrying it, because having something that I got when I was 12 years old, traveling to Europe for the first time, is a little sentimental to me. And I probably shouldn't get sentimental about gear, but I do. Tell me I'm not the only one. Guys, if you get sentimental about gear, drop some in the comments below. Just help me feel better about myself. But I do kind of want to hold on to it. I want to keep it nice. I've tried to keep it nice. It does have a little crack in one of the scales, and it's got some scratches and some mars and stuff like that from use, and I'm fine with that. But I kind of want to keep it nice, and so I've decided to kind of, set it aside, and probably I'm going to carry the Handyman the majority of the time. But I really like the Fieldmaster, and again, the Huntsman is a fantastic knife. It's probably one of the most popular Swiss Army knives. Probably one of the most sold Swiss Army knives out there is the Huntsman. And honestly, today, with all the different tools and things you can store in the corkscrew, I think it makes a lot of sense to buy a Huntsman. I'm not gonna lie. But if you find yourself in need of a Phillips screwdriver, the Phillips screwdriver on the Fieldmaster is a really good Phillips screwdriver. I can't even tell you how many times I've used it. And I mean, I've used it in places where I didn't think I would have to. Like I did some trailer maintenance. It worked for battery terminals on my lithium batteries. I had to disconnect the lithium battery on my trip. I used the Phillips screwdriver in this knife for that. So I mean, it shocks me how often I have to use it. But I have to say that I do miss the ability to carry things inside the corkscrew on this knife. So just something to consider. But like I said, this one's 30 years old and still kicking. So if you're looking for a good knife in this size with this tool set, you can't go wrong with the Fieldmaster or the Huntsman for that matter. Guys, I'm going to put a link down in the description below. Actually, I'm going to put a bunch of links where I'm going to put some of my favorite Swiss Army knives. So you can check those out, decide which ones are right for you. And guys, that's actually why we're doing this video series is, we exist to help moms and dads take their kids camping, hiking, fishing, learn about nature, and develop a conservation ethic. We want to help you, get you and your kids outside. And I recognize that to do that, you need to have quality gear. I've spent a lot of money on gear getting my kids outside to go do the things that we want to do. And I can't tell you how many times I bought something thinking that it was the right thing, and it ended up not being the right thing, and then I have to go buy something else. And so we are committed to doing gear reviews to kind of show you the stuff that we're using and suggesting so that you can decide whether or not it's right for you. I can't tell you whether it's right for you, only you can decide whether it's right for you. But what we want to do is we want to show it to you, we want to show you what's out there, and then let you make an educated decision for yourself. So guys, if you're looking for a Swiss Army knife, and you're looking for one that's relatively lightweight, that doesn't have every tool under the sun, but has a good tool set, I think the Fieldmaster is where it's at. But definitely check out the other knives we recommend as well. And who knows, guys, you might be like me where you end up with a bunch of Swiss Army knives. I mean, these are just the ones I'm reviewing today. So, and I plan to get a few more. And actually, this isn't even all the ones I have. I have some other ones that I have to go get because I have one that I leave in the van all the time, and you know, just that kind of thing. So we're going to be doing a series on Swiss Army knives. So I hope you guys like Swiss Army knives as much as I do, because I'm going to be doing a bunch of those. But yeah, guys, get yourself a Swiss Army knife. I highly recommend it. It's a fantastic multi-function tool for whatever outdoors activities you're doing, or just around the house, or when you're at work or whatever. I can't tell you how often I pull my Swiss Army knife out of my pocket to just knock out something that I got to take care of. So guys, I'm Kevin with Kemp Outside, your inside source for all things outside. Guys, thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.